Welcome to the Clean Slate with your hosts, Daniel Garza and Carson Phillips, providing you with movie news, reviews, and more. Sit back, relax, and don't forget to go to the concessions to get your popcorn and drinks. For your entertainment, this is the Clean Slate Podcast.
Welcome back to the Clean Slate Podcast. I'm your host, Carson Phillips, here with Daniel Garza, your other host for this podcast. And if you've been listening lately, we have been doing a new show within a show called Real versus Real, R-E-E-L, as in a film reel, and R-E-A-L, as in reality, something you guys may not be familiar with. So this new segment is where we follow a film and we compare it to the story it's based on, and we might have a little bit of discussion about that. And lately it's been some true crime-esque, and this one's going to dabble a bit into the capital P phenomena. So let's jump into it. So today we watched the movie Mothman Prophecies.
Yep. All right, guys. So here is the logline for Mothman Prophecies. Okay. A reporter is drawn to a small West Virginia town to investigate a series of strange events, including psychic visions and appearances of bizarre entities.
Ooh. So Daniel, what'd you think about this movie real quick?
Yeah, first of all, this was Carson's movie that he picked for the Real versus Real. It's got a pretty strong cast. We got Deborah Messing, Laura Linney, Richard Gere.
So hot.
Yeah, and
Richard.
Laura Linney, I come to find out, is like a 2000s, hot commodity. So, because she was just in Mystic River that we just reviewed, and now she's also in this. I was a little bit scared when I saw that it was a 2002 film. We've already had this discussion plenty of times. Early 2000s movies
Daniel's
have not
least
been
favorite.
Yeah,
Anything that happened like a year or so after 9/11, Daniel just can't.
It's too many hard memories. Anyway, just first, off the bat, the movie was fine. I was very interested in the movie and just kind of like the source topic that we just get ourselves into. However, when it comes to 2002 movies, it always kind of goes down to editing for me, and similar to a lot of other 2000s movies, the editing here is very odd, I would say, and they just do really weird shots. I'm not a huge fan of it. However, there was some types of filming in this that I thought was really cool, like kind of like those crazy cam shots of like those push-ins.
They do some like psychedelic kind of Evil Dead-esque at some point.
Shots. Yes, that's a really good way of putting it. So overall, the story was really interesting. I guess the mechanics of the film wasn't my favorite. So
okay. Yeah, I would agree with that. I mean, this movie is like a solid 3 out of 5 for me.
Yeah.
I think I have a bit of nostalgia for it. It kind of feels like maybe like a lower tier episode of X-Files a little bit. Yeah. But the story it connects to, I think, is really fascinating. And I think this film did bring the Mothman mythology and legend a little bit more forward to like your everyday Joe. Like everyone knows who Mothman is.
Right.
For the most part. I mean, do you know who Mothman is? Are you familiar at all?
Yeah, loosely.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's a great way to jump into this. I mean, this movie is based off of the book Mothman Prophecies, but the director did admit that this is more of a fictionalized version of that story. Oh, my Lord.
Sorry.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Is it more of a fictionalized version of that story? It's definitely inspired by more so than based on.
Right.
Even to the point of, like, there's a spoiler, a bridge does collapse in real life and in this film. The amount of people who die is a different number for really no reason that I know of. But,
right.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It kind of takes a lot of that stuff and twists it around. So in the movie, we have reporter John Klein, who's played by Richard Gere, who loses his wife after a car crash. And it kind of it's triggered by this winged, red-eyed figure that she sees. And she ends up having some kind of brain aneurysm, right? Or some kind of like tumor.
Yeah.
And she starts being almost comforted at some point. And that kind of leads him into wanting to know more about this mysterious creature she saw, as well as accidentally ending up in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. And that's where the bulk of our story takes place, and he starts investigating things with a cop friend, Connie Mills. And yeah, they start talking to some other people, and they getting these weird phone calls from a man or thing known as Ingrid Cold. So keep an eye out for him because he plays a big part in this film. But yeah, there's a lot of like prophetic warnings, and you're kind of trying to figure out what's going on. And if you're unfamiliar with the true story about this bridge collapse, you're like, what is this leading to? Were you familiar with the bridge collapse?
No, not at all.
Yeah, so that did actually happen on Christmas Eve. In the movie, it's 36 people killed.
Wow.
Not the same in real life.
Oh, okay.
It was actually, I believe, like 46 people killed in real life.
Oh, okay. Not that different. It's almost like one of those things. It's like, what was the point of the change there?
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know. I want to lessen it, 10 less people. It's, this almost feels like an alternate reality version of what happened in real life.
Exactly.
Anyways, let's get into what actually happened. So on November 15th, 1966, there was a couple who was out on a date night. This town is actually known for producing TNT during World War II era. After the war, obviously, there was no need for them to produce this anymore. So some people may say that Mothman or some of the weird phenomena going on in Point Pleasant may have been based around this poisoned soil. And if you look it up, it is red. It looks like blood red soil. It's very fascinating. And over the next year after this 7-foot winged figure appeared to this couple who was making out on top of TNT, there was over 100 reports of a red-eyed flying creature, a flying humanoid, and there was also UFO reports, which aren't covered in this film. Lots of glowing lights and strange sounds that are covered. And then there was also people having like apocalyptic vision of drowning and presence floating in the water. And then it all led to this horrible December 15th Silver Bridge collapse. So it was not Christmas Eve like in the film, but it was people going in and out, for Christmas festivities. And there was about 46 people killed. And yeah, the film does end with, what does it say, Daniel, the cause of the bridge collapse was? Do you remember?
It said it was still unknown, or like that it was never found out why the bridge collapsed.
Yeah, we know for sure why it collapsed. It was an eye bar snapped. It was a structural failure. This is an old bridge. So
interesting.
Yeah, very Final Destination in the movie. The way they handled it too.
So that's what I said. I was like, this movie takes on so many weird, different, like... Yeah. I mean, it makes sense because all these movies are 2000 movies. So, like, Final Destination, Donnie Darko, like...
That's true.
All those different, like, weird stylistic things. But then at the same time, it's, like, trying to have its own sense of identity. And, I don't know. Ingrid Cold, known as the Grinning Man, a voice on the phone tied to Gordon's mental breakdown and John's torment. In real life, Woodrow Derenberger, November 1966, claimed he met a smiling man after a UFO encounter, introduced himself as Ingrid Cold, and communicated telepathically. Derenberger later said Cold was from planet Lanluis, claimed ongoing contact. Families also reported a grinning man watching them, blending into a local panic. And then interpretations, paranormal, cold, alien interdimensional being, or a part of same phenomenon as the Mothman. And then the skeptical side is the sleep paralysis, hallucinations, or exaggeration. In reality, Cold is a separate UFO strand that Keel tied into a larger Mothman story. Interesting.
Yeah, so in real life, Ingrid Cold has appeared to people, and specifically took one guy to outer space to meet his, space family. Maybe lay out the shrooms. But really? There was sightings of this guy, and it did kind of add to this eerie sense of whatever was going on in this town. So it is strange, but they did make it more central to the film's plot, obviously. It's kind of its own phenomena. And there was a lot of other supernatural events. There was, like I said, UFO sightings. There was a ton of those. There was Men in Black. Yeah, so if you've seen that movie, this is where they got their start, because that is the thing that was going on at this time period. There's a lot of interesting, if you want to look into Men in Black in general, there's a lot of interesting tales of them showing up after UFO sightings, which could that just be the CIA just throwing that
looking
out there?
Into it?
Yeah, maybe it's their job. But there was also just like a lot of weird phone calls going on in the town, poltergeist activity, footsteps and grinning man at the windows, as well as people having dreams of bridges collapsing and disasters, which is is an odd thing, and it's hard to explain. There was animal disappearances, which is not, that's not that strange to me, especially if there's a big Mothman going on.
Yeah,
he could
scared.
Scoop up Fido, get a little dinner. Oh. But yeah, so there was a lot of weirdness going on up until this bridge collapse, and then ultimately the bridge collapse was like the culmination of it all, which the movie does touch on some of the other weirdness, but I think they tried to make some kind of like conspiratorial thread going on, I guess. I'm not sure like if they were able to pull off a plot that made sense, but yeah, do you want to hear, would you like to cover the next section?
Yeah, explanations.
Yeah.
So, okay.
We can talk about that a little bit, too.
So, two sides of the explanations, paranormal versus skeptical. Paranormal harbinger or harbinger?
Harbinger of doom. Like, he's like an angel of death of sorts.
Okay, so the harbinger of doom appears before disasters. Silver Bridge, Chernobyl, 9/11 in folklore. Interdimensional / alien keels, ultra what? Oh,
ultra-terrestrials.
What are those?
Guys, if I'm wrong, comment down below. I'm not this much of a conspiracy theorist. I mean, I want to be. I'm working on it. So an interdimensional being. So we may call them aliens, but they're actually from different dimensions, and there's these things, portals of sorts, where they can pop into our reality for a little bit. The movie kind of does touch on this when he's talking to the guy who wrote the UFO book, and he's saying like, oh, it may seem like they're all knowing, but from their perspective, they could just figure out what's happening easier. So kind of like us to watching like a cockroach go to its doom. We can see it before the cockroach does because of our perspective. So that's how the movie and the real life people kind of conceive of this, where it's like they're in another dimension. So their perception of our reality is very different. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do I sound crazy?
No, it's kind of like in Interstellar, right? Could Interstellar be like an ultra-terrestrial?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Like he gets turned into one basically on accident for a minute?
Yeah. Okay, so the folklore, spiritual side.
Maybe Mothman's from the future.
Maybe. That could be something.
New theory.
All right, so Thunderbird, demon in the angel archetype.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely has like the angel thing going on. I don't think demon. I feel like he's nice.
Yeah.
He doesn't really do anything
the Men in
bad.
Black conspiracy, evidence being covered up, which is
fascinating.
Exactly. Okay, now the skeptical side.
Because I don't think. Before we go on, Mothman didn't cause the bridge collapse. He was warning. He was just letting people know, hey, you're gonna die.
Yeah, he was. Practically.
Yeah, so just get your affairs in order.
Get your orders in
He's not gonna save you. Yeah, have an affair.
Oh my God.
You're gonna die soon.
Anyway, all right, so the skeptical side on
let's hear the
explanations
skeptics.
are misidentified birds. So sandhill cranes,
Boo.
owls, and herons. Hoaxes and hysteria.
On that note, look those birds up. Look them up because they do not look like a giant Mothman.
I could see
and
an
they can't
owl.
go 60 miles per hour without flapping their wings.
I mean, sure. Okay. Hoaxes and hysteria, balloon pranks, mass panic fueled by media. That is also possible. I kind of side with that one. Sleep paralysis and night terrors. Explain Green Man and indoor sightings. I mean, in my sleep paralysis that I've had, I've never seen anything.
Warned?
No, it's always something weird.
Oh, I was like, don't tell me, please. I don't want to know.
And I think
I think people having visions of the bridge collapse is it's weird, regardless. That could be God, I guess, right?
I mean, like but like if you think like in a small town, something that big. Like, I don't know. Ever since 9/11 happened, you always kind of like envision certain things bad happening. I don't know. That's how I am.
Yeah.
Like,
well, I think something that's weird. I mean, this was before 9/11.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm sure. But I'm saying like I'm sure people already in their minds can kind of imagine these horror scenarios in life.
That's true. And there's also like, for me, the idea of what do you call it? The shared subconscious unconscious thing or whatever, however you say it, where like we could all be tapping into the same thoughts at the same time from wherever, and there's something in the air.
I think the hardest one here is for the skeptic side is that there's no physical evidence ever found. No bodies, no tracks, or proof.
Oh, yeah. But if it's supernatural, there might not be physical proof.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. Fair enough.
Touche. I want Mothman to be real, okay?
I understand. I actually don't know if there's
I ride or die for
any
the
of these conspiracy theories that have ever been like proven. Like, right, Bigfoot, we got aliens, we got like Mothman.
Yeah, usually they're not proven.
And like we just want one. I think like a conspiracy theorist would love to see just one kind of be.
See, if one's true, I think they're all true, right?
Yeah, exactly. I think that's kind of the mentality there.
Have you heard of... this is a side note, but I do recommend for all you conspiracy fans to read by James Tinian. There is a comic book called Department of Truth where if enough people believe it, a conspiracy is true, basically, and it becomes true.
Interesting.
And there's more to it than that, but it's very interesting.
Interesting.
But yeah, let's wrap this up. What's your verdict on the Mothman? Where you lean on this?
Of it being true?
True, not true? What are your thoughts?
I would say probably out of all of them, this is the one I know least about. Like, I know a lot about Bigfoot, a lot about aliens. So Mothman seems a little bit kind of like you just throw something else into the mix, and people who want to believe in conspiracy theories will believe it. But for me, I would say I am someone that likes to look at random things and be like, oh wait, there might be something there. So like, right, when it comes to the government, when it comes to like, you know, world order, all that type of stuff.
So you think there could be something going on, whether it's Mothman or not?
Yes.
Up in the air.
But because of our faith, I believe that it probably wouldn't be a Mothman. I would probably believe more so that it's like a spiritual
An angel?
warfare type deal. Could be.
A demon?
I would say demons and angels create an equal amount of like immediate fear. It's like if you were to see an angel that
well, I mean literally like
yeah.
in the Bible when they go to the shepherds like, hey, Jesus is coming, they're like, oh my God,
crapping themselves.
What the F is that thing?
Holy crap. Yeah. So
So fair assessment.
But Mothman, I would say, was probably one that I least would be like, okay. Like, I would probably believe Slender Man before I believe Mothman.
That's interesting. That's weird.
I mean, probably not because we know the Slender Man is completely made up.
We know that's fake. Yeah, this is like at least based in like some kind of delusion, at least. Yeah, I'm skeptical, but I want Mothman to be real. I don't know what he is. If he's probably not an animal, if he is a thing, right? It's gonna be something supernatural. Perhaps it's a dear friend from our past. A creature that didn't die and just lived with humans, for a long time, and he just wants to let us know things,
Exactly.
And I don't want to see him. I don't want him because that means I'm gonna die probably. So, yeah,
I would like to see a good Mothman movie, like a redone Mothman movie.
Let's make it,
because
there's a new found footage Mothman movie that came out last year.
Oh, okay. I'll give that one a whirl.
I mean, there is something interesting. I think what attracts people to this narrative, right, is accepting that clearly there's something beyond ourselves, but we're also stuck in our destinies. Like fate is coming for you. You're going to die, right?
Yeah.
And it's something that's hard for a lot of humans to understand. So I think that's what attracts us to this story, because he just kind of shows up, doesn't really tell. Like, he could just tell people, hey, there's a bridge going to collapse, but that's not what he does. And then he vanishes. So I think there's something intriguing about that for us, for our little ape brains, right?
Agreed.
But yeah. Anyways, the legacy of the Mothman is, this movie came out in 2002. Now in Point Pleasant, there's a Mothman festival. You can go see a 12-foot statue. Lots of tourism.
Wow. Which
is crazy because when a ton of people died, this bridge collapsed, and now it's like a tourist town. Is wild. The film basically compresses and dramatizes something that did happen in real sightings of something. Like, these people aren't just making this up. So it's kind of a mess. And how you make that into a movie without the movie being a mess, it's a hard challenge. And I think, there's a lot of like other stuff going on, and you have to kind of pick a lane for the movie. But anyways, that's Mothman.
Sweet, guys. Well, that is Real versus Real. I'm going to say, like, between the two of a rating, I'll probably give this a Real versus Real. The movie is, I would give it a 1 in terms of, like, if it's accurate to
reality. Yeah. I mean, they just messed up the date and the death toll.
And that's just to start.
For no reason.
So, anyway, guys, well, let us know what you want us to do next. We kind of love doing this. We have been sticking around like a thriller horror genre in this because a lot of these things kind of revolve around that. But if you want us to review a movie that is based on a true story and see how accurate it is to the real story, we would love to hear from you. But until then, guys, this is the end of August. Thank you so much for sticking around. We are really excited to start we're ending season 3 right now, which is kind of crazy. We're about to start
it's
season
about to be
4.
Halloween, baby.
And we're not running over next month, but next month we're going to do our second installation of movies that have come out this year. So we're doing kind of summer movies and a little bit further on beyond, but we got a pretty good lineup of movies that have come out that have been pretty big blockbuster hits.
It's a wide range.
And then just some independent films. So anyway, guys, that is the end of August. We are going to be starting up our summer movie session and then the end of season 3, and we are jumping right into season 4. And you guys know what we do when season 4 begins. 31 Days of Halloween. Guys, we review a horror movie every single day of October until the finale of Halloween. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you haven't yet, go subscribe, go like, go follow, do all those things. Give us a rating on wherever you can find a podcast, and we'll see you next time.
We have a video feed on everywhere now.
Oh yeah,
too,
we're doing video feed now on podcasts. So if this video isn't just for YouTube anymore, it's for everything. So guys, thanks so much for sticking around, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
Deuces. That's a clean slate.